Good evening. This is the Elliott Wave update for the NASDAQ 100 and the S&P 500 for Monday, October the 30th, 2023. We did see follow through to the upside and lots of folks jumping on that bottom is in bandwagon. And I will say that I will just discuss very briefly characteristics and the personality of these individual waves. And so first thing you're going to notice is that I have marked as complete wave 3 and minute wave 3. And I'm going to have to take this one off because it's no longer valid in terms of that was to figure out this wave, and it's already done. So what we have going on is we have minute 1, 2, and 3 complete. We're in minute 4. And so what the next one will be is I'll be putting in for that minute wave 5th, once we do get a level that will complete this minute 4th wave. So far it is holding to it. Now, personalities of 4th waves, particularly, a sudden reversal in the market. Particularly in this case, we're in a downward move. And so bottom is in. And everybody comes flooding back in. We saw an extreme uptick in volatility options, actually. And so a lot of this all fits because now the perception is that we have bottomed at 14,144 and that we're off to the races from here. And that what's going to contribute to that is, of course, on Thursday, Apple's earnings. We have economic data. We've got the jobs data that's coming out on Friday. And we have other data coming out this week, which will just continue to confirm that the Fed's going to pause, or if not. There's actually been conversation, at least with my commenters, the people that are coming in and checking out my work and contributing to the conversation. I'm talking about the possibility that, well, maybe the Fed will actually ease rates. And I'm like, well, I doubt it. But I think we have to at least respect the conversation in terms of, okay, I can see why somebody would feel that way and how that would then add to this general tone of a bottom has been put in and now it's just off to the races. What we also did see today, particularly within the NASDAQ and the tech titans that actually came out with halfway decent earnings last week and the week before and got crushed, suddenly jump back to life, suddenly just come into play. Netflix up 12, Meta closing up nearly 6, was up higher. Microsoft up 750. Microsoft never really sold off. Google, again, now pressing higher. Amazon continuing to press higher after, they've reported earnings last week. So now all on the basis that we saw a huge influx come into Apple, by the way. If you were watching Apple trade today, just a lot of volume. And I also believe probably a lot of options, again, walking up to the earnings report that is due out on Thursday. So with regard to a 4th wave, I kind of consider it's like, yeah, once I get a 5th wave in, then I am going to be looking for a little bit larger correction. But because we're stair stepping down and 4s and 5s, each time we get to that low and get ready for the next 4 and 5, that it ends up going up 1 degree. So the bounce becomes a little bit bigger. Well, last week at the last bottom that they called didn't come through, and that would have been here. If you remember, when we got here, which would have been the 23rd of October, that was actually, excuse me, that was actually also, we're very oversold, and we reached a low. And that again was when I think we had a couple of brokerage firms come out and talk about how that this S&P, actually, this is what they were talking about, could go back to 4,600. Excuse me. So I need to just get a sip of water. I'm sorry. Sorry about the voice. So what really comes into play here is that I think they're early. Yes, I think that once we start to get down there and we actually put in a cycle wave A low and a primary C wave low, then yes, then I'm going to be screaming, yeah, we've got a big rally and we're going to jump. We're going to want to start playing it from the long side. If you're an option trader, you're going to start playing those options towards the upside. But it's early, and it's early in the whole game. So, but it does fit, and the pattern itself, it's not building into 5 waves, that's for sure. It's coming in as a 3. And so I'm looking at this, and now we stopped today, so we got held up at the hourly 100 simple moving average. And that exactly as the market came up to once this morning at 14,476, and then basically came up and equaled it, not quite, but we'll call it 14,472, I believe it was, maybe it was 74. So same area. So double topped today. And what I'm looking at is where we get the 3, and then we have an ABCA, we had a B, and then we got the C wave. And it's actually kind of weird because we nosedived, put in a new low just below what we were working on, and then ran back up, but it's running back up in a 3 and then beginning to move off. So if I bring this down, let's just take a look at the 15-minute chart. We're going to go right into here. You can see we have an A, a B, a C, we'll call it, and then an A, B, this is the B, and this may be one, it's a very difficult, but it's all, to me, very corrective. So you can see here was what I was talking about, A, B, C. So is this all A, and this is all, but it doesn't fit because this is a 3 wave, and as a result of this. So again, another interpretation is that we did finish. We did an ABC up to here, could be minute wave 4, 1, 2, and it just really turns and collapses. Wave 2, by the way, we know characteristically, personality is that it's also a sudden turn and can retrace almost, if all of wave 1. It just can't exceed it. And again, I mean, if it just starts to slide and just nosedives and breaks back below 14,300, well, yeah, then it's a 1, 2, and we're heading down to finish up a minute wave 5. And then again, the minor 3rd wave. So going back out to that hourly chart, what we have going on is the minor 3 come into the minor 4, minute 4, minute wave 5 to complete minor 3. Minor 3, again, we're looking for here. So we still have some fairly decent decline ahead. And everyone's going like, well, market's really bullish now. It's like, I know, I hear you, but I don't have any reason to believe that it's not going to do another one of these. But bigger, right? Because this is minute, this was minuet. So it's just going to be a little bit bigger. Can it drive it below 14,100, below 14,000? Yeah, it can. These are just markers, but in essence, it's already, once it gets below the 100 mark, where that wave 3 would be equal to wave 1, then I'll put that back on just so that we can see it. It was right here. So at 14,200 or 206, minor wave 3 would be equal to minor wave 1. And as I've said, I'm always looking for a little bit more. I got it, actually. I did get that little bit more. I'm actually looking for more than just that, but I did get a little bit more. So in essence, could I say that minor wave 3 is complete and I'm in a minor wave 4? It would be a stretch in my mind, but the answer would have to be yes. I can consider it. So that would actually push this 4th wave a little bit higher. Right now, we're doing it on the minute degree. So this is our retracement levels. And right now, we did get above, came back down below, and they're going to manage to close it right at the 0.236. Retracement back up. So I'm looking for the next one, and most common is 0.382. And that's at 14,600, let's call it. And then right above that, we have the hourly 200 period SMA, simple moving average, at 14,660, 661 in that hood. So we can get a decent move back above 14,600. And then here's the fourth wave of one lesser degree, right? This is minute. This would be minuet. Again, a marker. Elliott gave it. He said that's most often a fourth wave will find its terminus, its endpoint within the price territory or within the mark of the fourth wave of one lesser degree. And that's right in there. So again, we have our levels. It is seeming to be fit in terms of the structure. It's not really appearing to be more impulsive, even to the upside, right? So right now, I'm continuing to look for impulse waves to be to the downside. Corrective waves, ABCs or variations thereof, to be to the upside. Now, one other thing that we could probably, let me just take another look, because also in a fourth wave, you get triangles, but it kind of has to fit. And right now, it kind of does not. But I'll keep an eye on it, because what it would suggest is we get an A, B, C, D, E, and then another swing and a thrust out of the triangle. But right now, I don't really see that formation, although, stranger things. So again, we'll keep all that in mind, because as we go through this and we look at it, there are a lot of threes. That was the 5 completing our third. Then we have an ABC, A, B, C, A, B, C, B, A, B, C, C. Oh, this D, A, B, C, D, and then A, B, C, E. So it could, but it would be a stretch. But we'll see. So again, lots of threes all over the place. And that keeps that corrective nature to it. So yeah, we saw volatility start to really get hit. And to be honest with you, the volatility options expire on Wednesdays. So, and I just want to show you why we get a lot of what happens because of these options. Look at on November the 1st, the volatility is 159. So, and that's on the options that expire. And then on the 15th, we have big volumes, and big open interest. And the volatility is 108. So this just before coming into the close for the options was 500. So they made some adjustments and got it to close a little bit differently. And, So you can see that the difference on the 8th. So this is what expires this Wednesday, which also happens to be Fed Day, right? It's like, but these expire prior. They expire in the morning. But I just find it to be very interesting. So in essence, when we start to sell that volatility, they're selling the volatility and they're taking that money and they're buying the volatility of the underlying of all of the underlying stocks. So it's an interesting play, and it happens over and over and over again. So within our markets, ABC, we're going to keep our eye out at the possibility of a triangle. I'd have to kind of put that in to see if it fits. Moving average wise, we've reached the 100. Everything still actually is pointing down. The 50 went flat. That's on the hourly. The 20 is kind of heading higher. The rallies were strong. Rallies were strong and held. We gapped yesterday on the opening of Globex, and we held. We had one nice sell-off early, which took us, I think, to the lows that we saw, or maybe just below the low that we saw yesterday at Globex opening. And I I believe, now my memory's not serving me. And so then we rallied, and then we came back down and gave it another test, and then we just pushed straight pushed. And so that, but they're all threes. So again, I don't think it's over yet. What will be the give is that we just start to head lower again, similar to this. We just start to give it up, and boom, 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 and we just start to tumble and fall. Over in the S&P, it really is the same deal. But here I have marked it out. We have minuet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very clean, and 5 broke into 5, 3 broke into 5. All nice and clean. And then, but here is a little bit different. If we kind of come down, let's take a peek inside of it. And we can see here, cleaner, A, B, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a 3, 4, 5. So we get that ABC up. It's going to be a little bit different than the NASDAQ, but the S&P caught fire today because the Dow closed up 511 points. So a lot of stocks were like cooking. So again, here's the same deal. We got stuck at the hourly 100 simple moving average, which is at 41.95. And then we had that resistance at 41.93, but 2 points higher, big deal. So it got stopped at resistance, 0.236. I'm still looking for a little bit of a pullback, which we're now getting, and another rise up. The next fib level is 42.37, and that is 382, most common. That's within that price territory of the fourth wave of one lesser degree. And then we have the 200 simple moving average at 42.46. So we have a zone, that's about a $10 zone. And we probably could say, 35 to 46 or 35 to 45 or 37 to 47. So all in there, we have about a $10 zone of resistance that could complete the move. And then, it's going to be a coin toss because, there's of course the Fed and their decision. And so they may pause, but it could be Powell's press conference that absolutely just slices the market right in the gut, and it's left bleeding, and we'll see that result. So again, a lot of things, and I don't want to postulate on which one it could be. So right now, I'm continuing to count this as a minute fourth wave. There's the first resistance. It stopped right on it today, but I'm looking for a little bit more, and it can come up in between. But there's the next most common fib level and retracement level for a fourth wave. And again, up here puts us smack into the fourth wave of one lesser degree. So bond market continues to trade, and I'm just updating both because we've got the interest rate decision on Wednesday, that they're still, just quickly show you in the 30-year. See, nice box. And it kind of drifted and went below. It created a new low to the box, but still basically, in a box. 109.27, 28 on the top. And it was holding at 108.28, 26, 28 down the bottom, but it slid and then came running back and got itself back above 109 to close. So it's still in a box as we await. So everything that I presented over the weekend in the treasuries remains valid. We could turn and just sink this thing, or it can rally and the lows are in for the 30-year, the 10-year note, et cetera, that at least an intermediate degree A wave, and we have a B wave progress. Otherwise, it's not done. We've got a 4 coming down here, and that's going to put also a minute 3 underneath it. Give a minute 4, which this could be. And we have one more fifth to come down. That would be the 30. The 10-year note's looking pretty much exactly the same. and a little bit tighter, but see, it's kind of a weird box, but it's a box. You know, it's kind of being held up, moving averages, top and bottom, exceeds, comes back, exceeds, comes back, you know, floating all around, and not really the way that's going to stay until they get cleaner on it's going to come out on Wednesday. So that's going to be it for right now. And the next update will be on Tuesday, October the 31st.